is probably, you're probably best placed to answer this, because Laminex, in developing new products, which is, I think, fairly central to your business, do you get design in at the very early level? But well, not design, but design as in when you're talking about taking the product to market. I mean, how do you work the process?
Yeah, I guess I'll try and tie that back to your theme of risk. We're inspired by people like David Kelly, the founder of Stanford Design School, who coined the term relentless innovation. So Laminex habitually and religiously releases somewhere between 18 and 22 range updates and new products a year. And that requires a fair bit of energy and design think if you're an Australian-based manufacturer in a risk-averse corporate culture. I guess one of the things that we've seen is that we've abandoned historical and traditional stage gate processes where everything's got to be perfect before you launch to market, and instead designs at the front end of that process, whereby we prototype. You know, one of the central pillars of design thinking is this whole concept of iterative design, prototyping, and we actually release in controlled experiments lots of little products to little control groups. And we're not looking to celebrate success, we're looking to celebrate failure. Because when you celebrate failure in product design, you learn about the mistake that you would have otherwise made and learnt about after launch. And so risk is being dealt with in our organisation by incorporating design and design principles right at the start of the process. And for us, it's more than just decor and brand and product. It's about the processes that we believe in and the behaviours that we use as a team.
Fantastic. And I was going to... And George?
Yeah, so the biggest single influence on our design is really customers. Involving them in the design of your products and services really can do amazing things for your business, and it has for us. I guess at the essence of good design is empathy for customers, and that requires a different skill. It's really not about large research studies. It's about observation, and increasingly there's a language in business around voice of the customer, a day in the life of, and the recent resurgence of customer centricity. What you're looking for is not a 200-page report, it's an insight. It's a little frustration expressed by your customer. You might have to sit with them for the entire day and be very neutral and open in your questioning and just watch long periods of silence. But invariably, you'll get to a little bit of body language or a little bit of a rant. And that rant is really a physical manifestation of what I like to call the customer's work around your product or service incompetence. Often customers have to design workarounds in order to be able to do with your product what should have been designed in there in the first place. And that's a moment of gold. If you can find a single insight for one customer, it's often the case that that's scalable and that there are a million other customers out there that are experiencing that exact same frustration with your service or your product. Developing a solution to that pain point is called sustainable competitive advantage. And I think that unless you have that kind of engagement with your customer, you don't get to enjoy that experience.
And I guess that gets back to what you were saying, that good design from the outset, good culture, engaging with your customers can feed back. And panellists, have you had any black horse moments in your careers?
Yeah, I guess Soren triggered a recent memory. I was asked to speak at an innovation conference not long ago, and I guess my contention is that the gap between entrepreneurs and corporates has never been larger, and some of the most exciting innovation that's going on in the business space is coming from punchy little disrespectful startups who, without any access to capital or resources, are taking on very large global segments and brands. And there's probably three examples that I celebrate. We all have a copy, by the way, of Steve Jobs' biography on our shelves at home, but the stories that get told around barbecues are around some of these little businesses that are very interesting. So Warby Parker, founded by Dave Gilboa, will send you 5 sets of designer eyewear to your home for free. And in doing so, you'll be able to get the opinions of 60 people that you work, play and live with, as opposed to just the opinion of your partner when you're walking through Westfield and decide to pop in at OPSM. It's more than an internet-based model. It's fundamentally changed the equation for the consumer, because you can do it in the comfort of your own home. You get many, many, many more points of contact with advisors. And for that organisation, they don't need a retail footprint or that $350,000 machine in the back room, which has to take your eye prescription. We sort of celebrate Georgia Beatty here in Melbourne with Lupe Wines, who pioneered the single-serve wine glass with a foil seal, because there's a huge segment of people that don't want to drink the whole bottle of wine. They want a glass, and they don't want one rolling around on the back seat, a bottle rolling around on the back seat of the car or sitting in the fridge forever. A 4-pack sits nicely on the back seat, stacks better, and otherwise represents a single-serve consumption of red or white wine. And I think that's very exciting. The final one, depending on whether you're male or female, you're shaving every day or otherwise less regularly. And I guess, what must Gillette be thinking when you've got organisations like Razor Pit, who have truly gone through a business model innovation and said, why not sharpen your disposable razors? Next time you go and buy a pack of Gillette Mach 3 or whatever the brand is, you'll pay $22 for 5 razors. And here's a punchy little organisation that says, sharpen your disposable razor and get 95% more use out of it. And I think those entrepreneurs behind those organisations are huge inspirations for business today, because they ask the question, why are you all walking towards the cliff like lemmings? Why do you behave in the way that you do? We have a different thought process, and we'd like to change your user experience. And for me, they're the stories that are being celebrated around barbecues.